Hi, this is Helen Shapiro, and you're listening to Eli Lipid.
Well, just because I'm in my teens and I still go to school, don't think that I dream childish dreams. I'm nobody's fool. Don't bother me. That makes me wild. And please don't treat me like a child. It's often said that youngsters should be seen and not be heard. But I want you to realize that is quite absurd. Don't wanna be so meek and mild, so please don't treat me like a child. Gonna be my own advisor, 'cause my mind's my own. Then I will be much the wiser. My own point of view has got to be known. The best years of my life I know are those when I'm young. And since I'm sure that this is so, gonna have my fun. So if I feel like running wild, well, please don't treat me like a child. Gonna be my own advisor, 'cause my mind's my own. Then I will be much the wiser. My own point of view has got to be known. The best years of my life I know are those when I'm young. And since I'm sure that this is so, gonna have my fun. So if I feel like running wild, well, please don't treat me like a child. Don't ever treat me like a child.
Hi, this is Eli Lipid, and I invite you to spend with me 2 hours with the great songs of Helen Shapiro. We open our show with Don't Treat Me Like a Child, Helen's first hit, back to the early 60s. Hello, Helen.
Hello, shalom, shalom. How are you? All right?
All right, thank you.
Good.
First of all, I'd like to thank you for being with us.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
We open our show with Don't Treat Me Like a Child. You
Yeah.
recorded it when you were only 14 years
right.
old,
Yeah.
but we will start earlier, a little bit earlier.
Oh, yeah.
You were born in the east of London.
That's right.
To Jewish immigrants from
Well,
Russia.
Yeah, my grandparents were the immigrants from Russia. My parents were born in England.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very much that atmosphere, big Jewish family, extended family, aunts, uncles, cousins, and very, very, very musical as well, which I was very glad about. And that I always wanted to be a singer from very early age. And we used to have wonderful family gatherings in which we had a lot of singing and harmonizing and people playing violins and pianos and
You
stuff
played
like
the
that.
banjo.
That was later on. I picked up my brother. Actually, he started, and so I picked it up and played a few chords on that. But that wasn't me playing. I mean, earlier on, when I was very small, it was members of the family. You know, my mother played the violin, and other members of the family played piano, violin, and things like that.
And you had a band at school with Mark Bolan from T-Rex?
Oh yeah.
Yes?
It was. We were 10 years old. Mark was 9 years old, actually, and all in the same school. And there were about 5 or 6 of us, and we decided one of the boys was given a guitar for his birthday, and we thought this was wonderful. And because in those days it wasn't a commonplace thing, and so we started to sing Elvis songs, and then this Mark Feld was his name.
Yeah.
He came along and joined us, and we just went around singing songs together in cafes and in school breaks and singing Elvis Presley and Buddy Holly.
Or Are you lonesome tonight? Do you miss me tonight? Are you sorry we drifted apart? Does your memory stray to a bright summer day when I kissed you and called you sweetheart? Do the chairs in your parlor seem empty and bare? Do you gaze at your doorstep and picture me there? Is your heart filled with pain? Shall I come back again? Tell me, dear, are you lonesome tonight? Are you lonesome tonight? Do you miss me tonight? Are you sorry we drifted apart? Does your memory stray to a bright summer day when I kissed you and called you sweetheart? Do the chairs in your parlor seem empty and bare? Do you gaze at your doorstep and picture me there? Is your heart filled with pain? Shall I come back again? Tell me, dear, are you lonesome tonight?
I was a big fan of Elvis when I was a very little girl. I thought he was wonderful. But then I grew up and I grew out of that and I got into jazz at the age of about 11 or 12, again through my own brother, who was a very talented amateur guitarist, and he had a little jazz band, and he let me sing with them sometimes. So it was his influence.
And who discovered you?
Well, when I was 13 years old, I had decided that I wanted to be a singer, and I used to enter into talent competitions all over the place. And one day, an uncle of mine gave me something to read about a singing school in the middle of London, and this man at the singing school said that he had made people famous from his singing school, and I said, oh, I want to go there, I want to go. So my father, we didn't have any money, but I persuaded my father to give me a certain amount of money every week to go and have lessons with this guy. And he thought I was good, and which was nice. And then he stopped me having to pay the fee. And after a while, when he thought I was ready, having taught me all kinds of things like microphone technique, as well as musical scales and diction and all kinds of stuff, he invited the man from EMI to come and listen to me, because he knew all these people. And he listened to me and he said, come and make a recording test in EMI studios in Abbey Road in London. And so I went and I sang a song called Birth of the Blues, with just piano in Studio 2 at EMI Studios. And the head man heard the tape of this and he said, oh, he's good, because he thought I was a boy, because I had a deep voice and he hadn't met me yet. So I went up to his office with my mom and dad and I sang for him, and he realized that I was only 13 and I was a girl. And that's how it went. And he sent away his assistant to go and write a song, and he came back with this song, Don't Treat Me Like a Child, and that was my first hit record.
Yeah, it reached the number 3 in the top chart.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. It took a long time to get up there, but it got there. And, I would have been happy with that. Well, I would have been happy just making a record, let alone having a hit record.
Yeah.
So it was just a wonderful thing for a 14-year-old.
And the next one was bigger than that. It reached the number 1.
It got to number 1, yeah. You Don't Know.
Yeah.
Written by the same couple of men, John Schroeder and Mike Hawker. And that was such a thrill that got to number 1, because it was very unusual in those days to do a second record that wasn't very similar to the first record. And You Don't Know was a slow ballad, and people said, oh, that won't do, it won't be a hit. But it was, so that was good.
Well, let's hear it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, yeah.
Only 14 years old.
That's right. Yeah. Didn't I sound it? To me, when I listen to that, I think I sound 14.
I think you were the youngest female singer that reached the top of the chart.
That's what they tell me. I don't know if the record still stands, if that's true, but it was good. Yeah, I think that's what they said.
And the next one will be Walking Back to Happiness.
Yeah.
And I think that song was your greatest hit.
It was my biggest selling record, yeah. Because after You Don't Know sold a lot, and because of it did so well, there was already an advance order for the next record before people even heard it. Mm-hmm. So, it went straight to very quickly to number 1. Which was great. Again, written by the same team of songwriters. Yeah. And, I'm very grateful for that one. And for all of them, I really am.
You didn't want to sing it at that time, at first?
At that time, no, I didn't. You know what? When John Schroeder, who wrote the melody, first sat down at the piano and played it to me, I thought it sounded corny. Mind you, I have to admit, I mean, he wasn't a great piano player or a great singer. He was a great songwriter. And it sounded corny to me, and I thought, oh, umcha, you know, and, but, you know, and I said, please let me, you know, the other side was a song called Kiss and Run, which I preferred, but they said, no, listen, we're going to do this. And you know what? They were right, because immediately it caught on. It took a long time for me to grow to like it, but now I do very, very much. I'm very thankful for that song.
And in the studio, it was the 13th take.
Was it?
Yes.
Yeah,
and
I don't remember. Obviously, I don't remember. It's a long time ago.
And we will hear the second one.
Oh, right, okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Since I've been away, I have loved you more each day, walking back to happy. That was my fault, I'm sorry.
Funny, but it's true.
Funny, but it's true what loneliness can do. Since I've been away, I have loved you more each day, walking back to happiness. Whoop-ah, oh yeah. Say goodbye to loneliness. Whoop-ah, oh yeah. I never knew I'd miss you. Now I know what I must do. Walking back to happiness I shared with you. Making up for things I said. Whoop-ah, oh yeah. And mistakes to which they led. Whoop-ah, oh yeah. I shouldn't have gone away, so I'm coming back today. Walking back to happiness I threw away. Walking back to happiness with you. Said farewell to loneliness I knew. Laid aside foolish pride, learned the truth from tears I cried. Spread the news, I'm on my way. Whoop-ah, oh yeah. All my blues have blown away. Whoop-ah, oh yeah. I'm bringing you love so true, 'cause that's what I owe to you. Walking back to happiness I shared with you. Oh, walking back to happiness with you. Said farewell to loneliness I knew. Laid aside foolish pride, learned the truth from tears I cried. Spread the news, I'm on my way. Whoop-ah, oh yeah. All my blues have blown away. Whoop-ah, oh yeah. I'm bringing you love so true, 'cause that's what I owe to you. Walking back to happiness I shared with you. Walking back to happiness again. 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 Walking back to happiness again.
How did you deal, Helen, with that great success, being so young?
Well, obviously, being so young, being 14 years old, you know, the funny thing is about when you're that young, you have no fear. You don't fear anything because you're ignorant. You don't know what the pitfalls are, what the difficulties will be. So you are very bold and very confident. So I had that confidence from youth, but I was just so thrilled to be, I mean, first of all, to be making records, to be working with these wonderful musicians in the studio, and to have hit records and to meet the stars. I met, because the guy who produced me also produced Cliff Richard, so I met him very early on, which was great, and I was appearing at the London Palladium and the Albert Hall and doing all these things, so it was a great thrill for a kid of 14, very much so.
Did you continue to learn? Did you stay in school?
I stayed at school for that first year of 1961. I had my first 3 hits during that year, and at the end of that year, at the age of 15, I left school, because at that time you could leave school in England at 15, and I just couldn't wait to go full-time, you know, because obviously while I was at school I was very limited in what I could do, and I was limited by the law, which was a good thing because it protected me.
Let's hear another one, the 4th hit. That's reached number 2.
Yeah.
I've lost him, but I don't know how. He's going with another now. He'll be at her party on Friday night. I'd go there myself, but it wouldn't be right. But if you see him there, please tell him that I care and I want him back again. Tell him that and then tell me what he said. Just take him to his side. Tell him how much I cried and I'm begging on my knees. Tell him that and please tell me what he said. If I hurt him, I'm sorry. Please tell him that I love him. No matter what the trouble may be, we can talk it over. I've never been so blue. I wait right here for you. Then I know if I should cry, if I should live or die, when you tell me what he said. I've lost him, but I don't know how. He's going with another now. But if you see him there, please tell him that I care and I want him back again. Tell him that and then tell me what he said. Just take him to his side. Tell him how much I cried and I'm begging on my knees. Tell him that please tell me what he said. If I hurt him, I'm sorry. Please tell him that I love him. No matter what the trouble may be, we can talk it over. I've never been so blue. I wait right here for you. Then I know if I should cry, if I should live or die, when you tell me what he said. When you tell me what he said. When you tell me what he said.
Tell me what he said.
Tell me what he said.
Yes. Let's have a break from your wonderful hits. You mentioned that you liked the blues in your childhood?
Yeah, very early age. The blues and jazz, you know, blues and jazz and everything like that. Again, through my brother's influence. And he used to occasionally let me sing with his little band. And he introduced me to people like Ella Fitzgerald and Sarah Vaughan and to Duke Ellington and all the big bands and all that jazz stuff. So, yeah, I loved it.
In the next one, we can hear how marvelous can a teenager sing the blues.
Oh.
Saturday night, dressed up in fancy clothes. You stand around and wait for a date that never shows, while other couples keep their rendezvous. A teenager sings the blues. You say to yourself, he's still in love with you. Then just across the street, There he goes with someone new. A teardrop splashes on your shiny shoes. A teenager sings the blues. You go down to Tony's where the gang gets its kicks, and soon you discover that laughing and crying don't mix. Feeding the jukebox till your money gives out, and then you sit and wonder what love is all about. The hour is late and Tony wants to close. You finish up your Coke and you powder up your nose. You've joined the Heartbreak Club and paid your dues. So teenagers sing the blues, and then you sit and wonder what love is all about, what love is all about. The hour is late and Tony wants to close. You finish up your coat and you powder up your nose. You've joined the Heartbreak Club and paid your dues. So teenagers sing the blues. So teenagers sing the blues.
Wonderful.
I think I was 15 or 16 when I recorded that.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I enjoyed those kind of songs, and I did other ones like Blues in the Night, St. Louis Blues, Basin Street Blues, all those real old-time songs, you know.
You also had a big success with the album Tops With Me.
Yeah, that did very well. It was all really cover versions of songs that had been hits, obviously, for other people in the years around that time, and they were favorites of mine, yeah.
Most of them Americans.
Yeah, I always loved American music. My goodness, you're right. I think they were nearly all American. I loved American music. I always loved American pop music, American jazz music. Always that was the bigger influence on me than the British music.
Tonight you're mine completely. You give your love so sweetly. Tonight the light of love is in your eyes. But will you love me tomorrow? Is this a lasting treasure, or just a moment's pleasure? Tonight beneath the magic of your sighs, will you still love me tomorrow? The night meets the morning sun, I'd like to know that your love is a love I can be sure of. So tell me now, and I won't ask again, will you still love me when the night meets the morning sun. I'd like to know that your love is a love I can be sure of. So tell me now, and I won't ask again. Will you still love me tomorrow? Will you still love me tomorrow? Will you still love me tomorrow?
You also played in films. Your first one was...
It's trad, Dad.
Yes.
Yeah. At that time in this country, there was a trend of Dixieland jazz, which we called traditional jazz, which we shortened to trad jazz. And these records were getting in the charts. And so we made a film. Well, there was a film I was involved in, which also had a lot of these jazz bands, trad jazz bands in, but also a lot of British pop stars and American pop stars of the day. And it was a lot of fun. It was directed by a man called Dick Lester, who, as Richard Lester, directed the Beatles films, Hard Day's Night and Help.
Yeah.
So it had a good pedigree.
Let's Talk About Love was in the soundtrack, yes?
That's right, yeah. I think that got in the charts somewhere. That was indeed from the film It's Trad Dad, yeah.
You also recorded a French version to this song.
I did. I think I might have also done a German one. I did French and German versions of quite a few. Tell Me What He Said, Let's Talk About Love, and one or two others, which I can't remember, actually. It's a long time ago, you know.
Oh viens, et parlons d'amour.
Do you remember the words?
No, I don't. That's the first time I've heard that for years. I forgot I did that.
Viens chez moi, oh viens, et parlons d'amour. Moi je n'attends que ça, j'en ai le cœur qui bat. Sois gentil et viens chez moi, oh viens, et parlons d'amour. C'est un très vieux sujet, nous pourrions essayer de le renouveler. Oh viens, et parlons d'amour. Comme parfois le soir j'ai le cafard, quand je rentre du lycée, et quand j'ai fini tous mes devoirs, j'ai envie de t'appeler, oh oui, de t'appeler. À deux on peut chercher des mots qui font chanter, des mots qui font rêver. Oh viens, et parlons d'amour. En nous deux faisons un paradis, aime-moi de tout ton cœur. Aujourd'hui je veux vivre ma vie. À 16 ans on peut trouver la joie d'un grand bonheur. Il faut bien commencer un jour à s'embrasser. Ce n'est pas un grand péché. Oh viens, et parlons d'amour, parlons d'amour, parlons d'amour.
This one was a minor hit, the English version. I think it missed the top 20.
Yeah, that's right, it did. But the next one, I think, got back up to number 5 or something like that.
Yes, you went back to the old writers.
That's right. Well, yeah, Let's Talk About Love was written by Norrie Paramore and Bunny Lewis, who Norrie was my record producer. Tell Me What He Said was an American song. But Little Miss Lonely, yes indeed, was written by John Schroeder and Mike Hawker, who wrote Walking Back and all the others. So it was a good combination, and I'm very glad because it got back in the charts into the top 10.
Oh, I cried last night, how I cried last night, for I knew the warning you had given me last night. Now it's over, yes it's over, and my tears are all too late. I won't sleep tonight, I will weep tonight, but the years filled with tears could not put this right. For I've lost you, I have lost you, now I'm only little Miss Lonely. A tear is such a very lonely thing, but crying is the only thing that I can find to do since I lost you. I am wiser now, so much wiser now, but my wisdom is the wisdom of a fool somehow. For I love you, I still love you, but I'm only little Miss Lonely. A tear is such a very lonely thing, but crying is the only thing that I can find to do since I lost you. I am wiser now, so much wiser now, but my wisdom is the wisdom of a fool somehow. For I love you, I still love you, but I'm only little Miss Lonely. For I love you, I still love you, but I'm only little Miss Lonely.
With that success, you had many performances at home and also outside.
Oh yeah, I think we were still in 1962 at this time, and most of my touring was done in the UK, in England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. But I did have trips to other countries. I went across to Paris and played at the Olympia there, and various parts of Europe. And then at the end of 1962, I went across to Australia and New Zealand, and I had quite a lot of hits there, and went right round and came back via the United States, and I did the Ed Sullivan show in New York, and I did some stuff there, and I went up to Canada, I did television there. So it was a lot, I was still 15. I turned 16 during that trip, September.
That time you were the most popular female singer in Britain.
Yeah, well, yeah. At that time, it was obviously before the groups and everything. It was all solo singers.
Yeah.
And the top male singer was Cliff Richard, and female was myself once or twice. And it was lovely because Cliff and I, as I say, had the same record producer, the same record label. So it was nice to be together in that way.
Yeah, Norrie Paramore.
Norrie Paramore, indeed, yeah.
Here's your version to the Cliff song, I Love You, and we will meet in the second part, Helen Shapiro and Eli Lapid.
I love you, I love you, bop, bop, bop.
Your love means more to me than all the apples hanging on a tree. And like the apples, our love will grow because I I love you. Your love means more to me than all the fishes swimming in the sea. And like the fishes, my heart begins to swim because I love you. I love you.
Yes, I love you, I love you.
I want you for my own. I need you near to me more than anyone has ever known. Your love means so much more than all the loves I've ever had before. So please believe in what I say because I love you.
Your love means more to me than
All the apples hanging on a tree and
like those apples our love will grow.
because I love you.
Your love means more to me than
All the fishes swimming in the sea and
like those fishes my heart begins to swim.
because I love you. I love you.
Yes, I love you, I love you.
I want you for my own. I need you so much more than anyone has ever known. Everyone knows what a one is two. I'm the one and the other one's you. So please believe in what I say because I love you. I love you, love you, love you, love you. I love you.
Hi, this is Helen Shapiro, and you're listening to Eli Lipid.
It's not the way you smile that touch my heart, and it's not the way you kiss that tears me apart. Whoa, many, many, many nights go by. I sit alone at home and I cry over you. What can I do? I can't help myself, 'cause baby, it's you. Baby, it's you. Now you should hear what they say about you. Cheat. Ah, they say you've never, never, ever been true. Oh, it doesn't matter what they say. I know I'm gonna love you any old way. What can I do? And it's true now. I don't want nobody, 'cause baby, it's you. Yeah, baby, it's you. And it's true now. I don't want nobody, 'cause baby, it's you. Baby, it's you. Don't leave me all alone.
Hi, this is Eli Lipid, and we are in the second part with the great songs of Helen Shapiro. In the early 1963, is it true that the Beatles supported you?
Yeah, that's right. All during 1962, when I was touring in this country, in England, Britain, I was doing a lot of these package tours where a lot of different names, different people would get on the coach, on the bus and travel around and do concerts in movie theaters, in cinemas. Mm-hmm. And So I was about to do my next tour in early '63, and the man said to me, "We have this new group called the Beatles going to be joining us. Have you heard of them?" I said yes, because they had a record called "Love Me Do."
Yes.
During 1962, which was a small hit, and I loved it. I loved that. So indeed, they joined my tour in early '63. January, February, March, I can't remember exactly when, for several weeks, and we went out on the road, and they were way down the bill. But during that tour, they released Please Please Me.
Yeah.
And it went to the top of the charts, and so they were promoted from being one of the opening acts on the show to closing the first half of the show. And then eventually, they got so big that they had to leave the tour, because they had to go away and do their own tours, you know. So we had replacements.
And you had a good time with them.
Wonderful. We had, all traveling together on the coach, we had these great sessions of singing with everybody. The guys would sing. They were very into the early Motown stuff, which we didn't know about yet at that time. And they wrote some of their songs on that tour. And we had fun, and I really loved them, and I enjoyed watching them on stage. It was a great experience.
Did you sing also with them in the bus on the way?
On the way to the event, to the gigs, you know.
Yeah.
Where we had great singing sessions, and sometimes I would sing a song, and they would sing in the backing vocals, and sometimes one of them would sing a song, and the rest of us would do the backing vocals, along with everybody else.
Can you remember which songs?
Songs like a lot of Beach Boys stuff, some of the early Motown, It's in His Kiss.
Yeah.
What was that? Oh, gosh. A lot of American black soul music as well. We enjoyed that very much.
It's in His Kiss. And also the Beatles gave you the song Misery. They wrote it for you.
They, when I first met them at the beginning of the tour, Paul McCartney, he was the spokesman for the whole band. You know, when he introduced everybody, he said, "You know, we wrote a song for you to put in your next album, which I was going to be recording in Nashville.
Yeah,
a song called Misery, but Norrie Paramore turned it down. That was before I even got to hear it, so that was a shame.
Uh-huh.
But there we are. That's
how it goes, Misery.
I'm the kind of guy, girl. It's gonna be a drag, misery. Do you recognize that?
Yeah,
No.
I remember it. It's from their first album.
first album, Please Please Me. And
Yeah.
also a guy here in this country, Kenny Lynch, he did it as a single in the end.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And later you recorded Can't Buy Me Love.
Oh, much, much, much later.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. But I used to include a few of their songs in my stage show as well. I haven't recorded any others. I just used to sing them on live shows. You know.
All right.
Can't buy me love, love, can't buy me love. I'll buy you a diamond ring, my friend, if it makes you feel alright. I'll get you anything, my friend, if it makes you feel alright. 'Cause I don't care too much for money, money can't buy me love. I'll give you all I got to give if you say you love me too. I may not have a lot to give, but what I got I'll give to you. I don't care too much for money, money can't buy me love, can't buy me love. Everybody tells me so, can't buy me love. No, 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 no. Say you don't need no diamond rings and I'll be satisfied. Tell me that you want the kind of things the money just can't buy. I don't care too much for money, money can't buy me love. Money can't buy me love. Can't buy me love. Everybody tells me so. Can't buy me love. No, 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 no. Say I don't need no diamond ring and I'll be satisfied. Tell me that you want the kind of thing the money just can't buy. I don't care too much for money, money can't buy me love, can't buy me love. Love can't buy me love. I don't care too much for money, money can't buy me love.
The next thing I did after that tour was my first trip to Israel.
You perform here?
I came on tour. Yeah, it was a big tour. It was wonderful. It was my first time. My records had been, I don't know which one, had been hits in Israel, and we had all these crowds of fans running around. It was wonderful, and I remember in Tel Aviv, we were staying in, I can't remember the hotel, and one afternoon I was looking out the window, and in the hotel next door, on the roof, all these fans, these guys,
Yeah.
were gathered, and they were calling, "Hey Len, hey Len."
Mm-hmm.
It was wonderful. I had never had that. I was so thrilled to be in Israel.
Uh-huh.
The next time I went to Israel was in 1968, when it, again, a whole different thing after the Six-Day War. So I did a lot of special concerts there. It was the anniversary. It was the first anniversary since the June War. And so I was singing in Jerusalem, I was singing in Tel Aviv, and all over the place, up in Haifa, in the Technion. And I went again another couple of times in the early 70s. So I just wanted to say that because, I just love it. I love coming to Israel.
Do you know that also You Don't Care was a big hit in Israel?
No, I didn't. It's mine, yeah. It was from another film that I did, a film called Play It Cool.
Aha, the second one.
Yeah, I mean, but in that one, I was only just a guest, and I sang a couple of songs, and one of them was I Don't Care. It's from that film.
Uh-huh.
No, I didn't realize that it was a big hit in Israel. I'm very glad. I enjoyed that song.
Yeah, it's a lovely song.
Yeah, you gone and found somebody new. Yeah.
You've gone and found us somebody new and left me lonely. I know I go around missing you, but I don't care. What a fool I was to think you were true. I loved you only. I never thought we'd ever be through, but I don't care. Guess I'll have to start going places, look around and find some new faces. I'll be kicking over the traces. I don't care what happens to me. You're not the only fish in the sea, so I'm not waiting. Don't you think you're gonna come back to me? For I don't care. No, I know when all is said and done, you will always be the only one. Talking to yourself is never fun. I must run to someone new. What a fool I was to think you were true. I loved you only. I never thought we'd ever be through, but I don't care. Guess I have to start going places, look around and find some new faces. I'll be kicking over the traces. I don't care what happens to me. You're not the only fish in the sea, so I'm not waiting. Don't you think you're gonna come back to me? For I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
You're also well known as a jazz singer.
Well, I like I say, my first love is jazz musically, and from way back. I mean, I love the pop stuff as well, but I enjoyed the jazz. But it wasn't until the early 80s that I had the opportunity to start recording some more jazzy things. And I made an album called Straighten Up and Fly Right. And then I started doing concerts with a man called Humphrey Littleton, who was a famous jazz trumpeter in this country. I did a lot of concerts with him and his band, and then got my own band together, which, well, I always had a band, but I got a special band together to do more of the jazz stuff. So I was doing my own concerts called Simply Shapiro, as well as my pop concerts and other things that I was doing. So yeah, that's the long answer, yes.
The next one will be a little samba composed by Georgie Fame.
That's right.
It's a combination between jazz and Latin music.
Yeah, it is. It's that kind of Latin jazz, which I enjoy very much indeed. And, of course, Little Samba was indeed written by George. I love his stuff, I really do. And Who Will Buy is, of course, from the show Oliver, but given that same treatment. That medley is from an album I made called Simply Shapiro.
For the way you brighten up my day, for all the joy you bring my way, I love you more than words can say, and so I wrote a little samba. For the way you bring me happiness, the way you fill my emptiness, and soothe me with your warm caress, I thought I'd write a little samba. Like a little samba, my little samba. So I hope you like my little song. I wrote it just for you alone. It didn't take me very long. It's all for you, my little samba, my little samba. the way you brighten up my day, for all the joy you bring my way. I love you more than words can say, and so I wrote a little samba. My little samba. Who will buy this wonderful morning? Such a sky you never did see. Who will tie it up with a ribbon and put it in a box for me, so I could see it at my leisure whenever things go wrong, and I would keep it as a treasure to last my whole life long. Who will buy this wonderful feeling? I'm so high, I swear I could fly. Me, oh my, I don't want to lose it. So what am I to do to keep the sky so blue? There must be someone who will buy. Who will buy? Who will buy? Who will buy? And put it in a box for me. There'll never be a day so sunny it could not happen twice. Where is the man with all the money? It's cheap at half the price. Got to know who will buy this wonderful feeling. I'm so high, I swear I could fly. Me, oh my, I don't want to lose it. So what am I to do to keep the sky so blue? There must be someone who will buy my little samba. So I hope you like my little song. I wrote it just for you alone. It didn't take me very long. It's just for you, my little samba. My little samba. It's nothing like a little samba. Little samba. Who will buy? Will nobody purchase my samba?
You mentioned Oliver. Do you like acting on stage?
Yeah, I over the years I've done a few things in the theatre, in musicals, as well as in sort of straight plays. And one of the roles I played was as Nancy in the show Oliver in London, in the West End, for a whole year. That was 79-80. And it was a wonderful experience. I always wanted to do musicals, and I loved that particular show. It was a great part, Nancy, a very difficult part, very physical part, but it was a wonderful experience for me, and I do enjoy the theatrical work, yeah.
In the early 90s, you started recording gospel albums.
Yes, in 1987, I became what is often called a Messianic Jew. I came to a belief that Yeshua, Jesus, is the Messiah. And it was a very important time for me. And I started to do some albums, some CDs and concerts and evenings containing some of these tracks that I recorded. Some of them all based on the Bible and very scriptural, and some of it quite Hebraic in its style. So yeah, it wasn't a career thing. It was something that I did from my heart, if you understand.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And the first one that we will hear from that album is Entered Into His Gates, and
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
There is a part of it in Hebrew.
Yes, indeed. I do sing quite a bit in Hebrew because I love the Hebrew language. I'm trying to learn it. And both of these songs in this little medley are from the Psalms, from Psalm 100 and Psalm 180. I just say that in case anybody who's listening wants to check it out.
Mm-hmm. So let's wait for the Hebrew part.
It's a long time coming. You have to play quite a way in, all right?
All right.
Enter into his gates with thanksgiving. Enter into his courts with praise. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving. Enter into his courts with praise. Rejoice and be glad in thy Creator. Rejoice and be glad in the Father of lights. Rejoice and be glad in thy salvation. Rejoice and be glad in the Ancient of Days. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving. Enter into his courts with praise. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving. Enter into his courts with praise. Rejoice and be glad in thy Creator. Rejoice and be glad in the Father of lights. Rejoice and be glad in thy salvation. Rejoice and be glad in the Ancient of Days. Rejoice and be glad in thy Creator. Rejoice and be glad in the Father of lights. Rejoice and be glad in thy salvation. Rejoice and be glad in the Ancient of Days. Rejoice and be glad in thy Creator. Rejoice and be glad in the Father of lights. Rejoice and be glad in thy salvation. Rejoice and be glad in the Ancient of Days. Hallelujah, hallelujah, Betzielze Leshama. Hallelujah, hallelujah, Betzielze Letua. Kohan Shama, Tehallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Kohan Shama, Tehallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord with cymbals and sound. Let every creature sing. Praise the Lord, let cymbals resound and hallelujah ring. Let every breath thus be employed. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Let every soul worship the Lord. Hallelujah. Rejoice and be glad in thy Creator. Rejoice and be glad in the Father of lights. Rejoice and be glad in thy salvation. Rejoice and be glad in the Ancient of Days. Rejoice and be glad in thy Creator. Rejoice and be glad in the Father of lights. Rejoice and be glad in thy salvation. Rejoice and be glad in the Ancient of Days. Rejoice and be glad in thy Creator. Rejoice and be glad in the Father of lights. Rejoice and be glad in thy salvation. Rejoice and be glad in the Ancient of Days.
The next one will be a duet with Cliff Richard, title We Being Many.
Yeah, it's a strange use of English, but it's there. We Being Many is it's a biblical thing, and because of my long association, or at least knowing Cliff Richard for quite a few years, obviously since 1961, I had appeared with him on a special event that he did at the Albert Hall in London in 1991. And when I came to record this song, we had the idea of asking Cliff Richard to do the other voice on it, and he did. That's from an album I did in '95, and I think he did a really good job. It's a lovely song.
And we being many are one body in Messiah, and everyone members of one another, loving each other with God as our Father, who loves us as a mother loves her new born child.
We are his bride, taken from his side, when blood and water fell from the broken heart of Israel. See the Lord provide, the precious Lamb who died, the great I am who cried, Eli, Eli, lama azafdani, Abba, El Shaddai, to God I give my life.
And we being many are one body in Messiah, and everyone members of one another, loving each other with God as our Father, who loves us as a mother loves her newborn child.
When blood and water fell from the broken heart of Israel, see the Lord provide, the precious Lamb who died, the great I am who cried, Eli, Eli, with God as our who loves us as a El Shaddai, to God I give my child, who loves us as a mother loves her newborn child.
Helen, I want to thank you for this interview.
It's been a pleasure talking to you, Ellie, and thank you very much.
You have a wonderful career. You have a pop part and the jazz part and the gospel part.
And the theatre.
And the theatre.
I'm very blessed.
Many different parts.
Yeah, many different parts. I'm very, very thankful. I came out of show business 5.5 years ago, so, you know, I don't go and do the concerts anymore, but I still travel around doing my gospel evenings, which I enjoy very much, and maybe I'll come back to Israel sometime. I look forward to doing that.
You are mostly welcome.
Thank you.
And we will end with the song Kadosh. Can you say something about this one?
The song Kadosh, again, is it's a favorite of mine, and it's a very strong production of the song.
Yeah.
It's from the Bible. It's from Isaiah chapter 6, I think, and he sees God, and it's holy. Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh.
Yeah, yes.
Sorry, I get enthusiastic about these things, but I hope people will like it.
Yeah, it's a very catching tune.
Good. It's written by Israelis.
Yes?
Elisheva Shomron, and they're not famous.
Uh-huh.
They're just,
But
it's
a good song.
It is a good song,
Yes.
and it makes very good use of the words. In the middle of the song, it goes into another song, which is from another scripture, but I don't know I can't remember who wrote that. I think it was an American.
Yeah.
Where it says, "Exalt the Lord your God." It's a different song, but then it comes back to Kadosh. Anyway, there we are.
All right. Thank you, Helen, again.
And thank you, and I hope maybe one day we can speak again or meet again. Meet in
Israel or in England.
Or in England, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, להתראות.
Thank you. Bye.
God bless. Bye-bye.
And many thanks to Ariel Lapid and Tom Yeshua. I'm Eli Lapid. Take care.
He Israel, come and worship Messiah. Look upon him whom we have pierced. Our God has forgiven the sins of his people, removed from us all pain and fear. Exalt the Lord your God and worship at his feet. He is holy, holy is he. Gadlu Hashem Eloheinu והשתחוו לאדום רגליו. הוא קדוש, קדוש הוא.